All right, so photosynthesis is an endergonic process. All right, we've got to remember this term. So this was back in chapter 6. Okay, so chapter 6, we were looking at endergonic and exergonic. If we remember the difference, maybe my little trick helps. We end high and we exit low. Okay, so let's remind ourselves of what these terms mean. So endergonic. All right, we can draw our graph. Endergonic, we're going to end high. So our reactants are going to have low energy, and our products are going to have high energy. So we end high. Okay, so ending high means no energy was released. The products have so much free energy. Okay, so energy is stored. All right, whereas with exergonic, we exit low. Okay, so exergonic, we exit low. So reactants are going to have high energy, and the products are going to exit low. They're going to have low energy. So there's no more energy being stored. All the energy was released. Okay, so with photosynthesis, let's relate it back to photosynthesis. Okay, photosynthesis is an endergonic reaction. It's storing energy. So the reactants, we haven't written this down yet, we probably should, right? The chemical formula, okay? We have 6 CO2, 6 water, H2O, and energy. Okay, specifically light energy. Our reactants, our products are going to be C6H12O6. We haven't memorized that. We have another chance. This is glucose, okay? And 6 oxygen molecules. All right. There's no energy being produced, right? Energy was being stored, all right? The product, there's no energy being released. There's no energy over the arrow or anything, okay? Energy went in from the reactants and it was stored, okay? Now, all right, so we are talking about plants, right? We're talking about photosynthesis being done by plants, the photoautotrophs, right? The self-feeders. They are making their own energy. But we can't talk about the actual process of photosynthesis until we realize, what does a plant look like, right? Let's get into the structures of the plant. Where is photosynthesis actually going to be occurring, okay? So we're going to do some drawing, all right? I've got a nice image up on the board, on the screens. If that works for you, use it, all right? But I really encourage you to do your own rendition, do your own drawing, make it your own so it sticks better in your head, okay? I'm going to do my own drawing up on the board. If you want to do it how I do it, that's cool, all right? But again, it's up on the screens if you'd like. If you have colored pencils, highlighters, anything, now is the time. Multiple colors will help us, okay? So we're going to start at the very top of the leaf. You're looking at a plant, okay? You're looking down, bird's eye view at the leaf. We're looking at the top of the leaf, okay? What we have there is a nice waxy layer, okay? Waxy layer, and it's specifically called the cuticle. Okay. So, what is a wax? We've got to remind ourselves back in chapter 3, all the way back in chapter 3. What is a wax? It is a type of macromolecule, specifically a lipid. So if a wax is a lipid, we got to think, what grouped those 4 types of lipids together? They didn't have a common structure, they didn't have a common function, they had one similarity, and that is they are hydrophobic. Okay, so they are going to be insoluble in water. So this waxy layer is going to protect the leaf from losing water. So it prevents water loss. All right, so that's the very top. Cool. Okay, then we're gonna go down. Now, on the image I have up on the screens, it shows it as upper epidermis. That's fine. Sometimes we can just call it the epidermis. Sometimes you'll see it called the dermal layer, okay? So just a nice uniform layer of cells. So I'm gonna call it just the epidermis. All right. Now, moving down into the center of the leaf, we have a big layer called the mesophyll. The mesophyll is really important, okay? When you're looking at it on the screen, it has two different parts to it. We don't need to know the two different parts. Maybe just keep in mind the mesophyll does have two types of cells, the palisade and the spongy cells. That's fine. We're not going to label them as such though, okay? But we will kind of draw them. Okay, so we have these large rectangular cells and then more circular cells down here. Okay, but both of them, those two varieties of cells make up the mesophyll. Now, we really care about the mesophyll. This is where we need colors. Put a star next to mesophyll. Okay, so I'm going to switch over to green. Mesophyll in these cells is where the chloroplast is located. Why am I making such a big deal out of the chloroplast? Why do we care about that? Why is it so notable? Because the chloroplast is where photosynthesis occurs. All right, so mesophyll houses the chloroplast. All right, now underneath the mesophyll, both layers of the cells of the mesophyll, we have another dermal, epidermal layer, okay? We're gonna draw it a little bit differently though. So watch me first, okay? So there's the dermal layer, but I'm gonna do some openings in the dermal layer, okay? Kind of like that. And I'm switching colors, over to red, and I'm gonna draw in some structures called guard cells, okay? Guard cells. So these guard cells actually are able to open and close, but they're only found typically on the bottom of the leaf, okay? So they open and close. Now, the opening between the guard cells, you can see even on the image and right here, this opening, do a little arrow. This is called the stoma. All right, that is the opening, that's the pore. All right, now stoma is the singular version, so one opening, one pore, that's stoma. If we had multiple, if we're referring to multiple openings, that's stomata. Okay. So stomata, plural, stoma, singular. Okay. All right. So why? Why? Why do we have guard cells? Why do we have a stoma? Why do we care about this? This is where gas exchange occurs. All right. So we know from our chemical formula that photosynthesis is going to produce oxygen. All right. So oxygen is going to come out through the stoma. And we know that in order for photosynthesis to occur, we need carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide is going to go into the stoma. All right, so we have gas exchange. exchange. So that's all happening in the stoma, controlled by the guard cells, opening and closing. All right. So now we're going to go deep into the chloroplast, right? So remember the chloroplast located in the mesophyll, that middle layer of the leaf, okay? Chloroplast is important because